Some snakes don't just bite, they obliterate. From venom that melts flesh to fangs that strike faster than you can blink. These creatures are the true rulers of the animal kingdom. And hey, we're chasing 1 million subscribers this year. Smash that subscribe button and join the wild ride.
The inland Taipan. Now, I'm going to talk about a snake on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you will. Specifically, I'm talking about a much smaller snake, but it's one that packs a heck of a punch via its bite. I'm talking about the inland Typhon, a snake that you better pray doesn't become local to your home area. The reason for this is that while the inland Typhon may only be 2.5 meters in length at max, its venom is one of the deadliest in the entire world. Even the most famous of all snakes like the king cobra, the rattlesnake, and others cannot compare to this snake's level of lethal venom. Heck, when scientists tested the venom on human cells, it was found to be the most toxic reptile in the entire world. So that's a double layer of rankings to help enforce just how bad that it is. But why is its venom so powerful? Well, part of the reason is that this snake just loves to go after mammals, and then what makes its venom extremely potent against warm-blooded creatures. Now, if you did forget, humans are warm-blooded. One bite possesses enough lethality to kill more than 100 fully grown humans. And that's bad for all of us. The snake will be fine. It'll have plenty of meat to enjoy. Just as big of a problem is that this snake is fast, agile, accurate, and able to bite its foes multiple times in one single swift strike, and most would agree that every time it sinks its teeth in, it releases its venom. So now just imagine accidentally stepping on one and having to react in a split second, or else receiving a lethal dose. It's not a very pleasant thought. But if you want some good news, well, I can help with that. The reason this snake is not labeled as the deadliest in the world is because of location and personality. Specifically, it lives in very remote areas in Australia. Thus, unless you go and seek it out, you're not going to find it even on accident. As for the personality, it is not an aggressive snake. It will only strike if it's provoked, and even then, it prefers to flee more times than not. Still though, you should keep in mind when you're going down under, and you'll thank me later. The Eastern Copperhead. Now, I thought I would end this on a rather unique note. The Eastern Copperhead fits into that mold. Firstly, yes, it is a venomous snake, and it can cause some serious damage to people if left untreated. However, the venom's potency is nowhere close to any others on this list. What helps it to stand out in our minds, though, is that there are treatments being tested that are actually using the copperhead's venom, and that might even help to stop cancer. There have been legitimate tests that have proven that the venom, in mice at least, can help to stop the spread of both tumors and cancer cells, and it hasn't been tested in humans yet, but could you just imagine if a snake's venom was able to make a cure for cancer? It would be quite the phenomenal thing. Boom Slang. Continuing on with the pattern that we've been building on, the boom slang is yet another snake that is all about the venom contained in its body. Its body alone is something that many scientists love to study due to its unique size and nature. For example, it can sometimes be up to 2 meters in length, give or take, and its head has been documented to look like kind of an egg. Just as interesting is that the coloring of the snakes can vary wildly at times. While some prefer a green and black feel, others are fine with being brown. It often depends on which gender the snake is, and that determines its coloring. As for its venom, this is where, once again, things can get quite specific. There are certain kinds of boom slang that are harmless to humans because their teeth are so far back in their heads, they can't actually pierce human skin, and so they won't deliver the venom into the system. However, other boom slangs don't have that issue at all and are able to put a powerful venom into their prey that is so dangerous it can lead to clotting, bleeding out, and even causing cardiac arrest.
This is the most venomous snake that we've got in South Africa.
Thankfully, there's an antivenom, and just as important, if you don't bother the snake, it will not likely bother you. Most bites happen when people try to catch it, so if you don't do that, you should end up being just fine. The Sawscaled Viper. Now, you may have thought that snakes were dangerous before just because of their venom, and while these vipers are indeed venomous, they also come with another feature that helps themselves to stand out. Specifically, they have the ability to rub their body together in such a way that it makes a piercing sound, kind of like a rattlesnake's rattle. So, if you end up hearing something that you don't recognize out in the wild where these snakes live, you should probably turn around and go in the other direction. And before you say, "What if I just see the snake after it makes the sound?" the answer to that is that these snakes hunt at night, so they'll be sneaking up on you and biting you before you even realize what's happening. The saw viper is found in North Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. It's known for its rough and keeled scales, which then produce that distinctive sizzling sound. The viper's fast and aggressive and strikes quickly, making it one of the deadliest snakes in its range. Its hemotoxic venom will cause you great things like severe bleeding, organ failure, potential fatality if untreated, and it's often found in dry and rocky habitats, hunting only at night, feeding on rodents, lizards, and insects, and despite its small size, it's also responsible for numerous snakebite fatalities each and every year. The Fair Dilance. Now we have a French snake with a really fancy name. Surely that means that it's rather harmless and couldn't possibly be one of the more deadly snakes on the list, right? Well, the fact is, it causes more human deaths than any other American reptile. Sounds like the best snake ever. So then, why does it murder with such veracity? It helps that its venom is one of the deadliest around due to how much that it pumps into you with every bite that it administers. For humans, 50 milligrams of venom is enough to kill you. The Fair Dilance delivers over 105 milligrams per bite, so yes, double what it takes to kill a person. It's no small wonder that it has such a high body count. It's even worse though. Unlike many of the other snakes that I've talked about so far, this one is known to reside in various places where humans live and work, including being in ditches, near forests, and even on the very farms that people work on. So if you're ever in Central and South America, you'll definitely want to keep your head on a swivel for this snake. The Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake. The Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake is one that I'm talking about now, and while the last rattler had some debate about how deadly it was, there is absolutely no questioning this one. It is the largest rattlesnake out there in the Americas and one of the heaviest venomous snakes around. In its range in the US, it's caused many human deaths and is the leader in death by snakebite. Some studies even claim that after getting bitten by one, you have a 1 in 3 chance of dying. Now, that's not exactly the best of odds, and it also doesn't help that the Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake has 100 different toxins. It's hard to treat one thing when 99 other things could kill you. Russell's Viper. Sometimes snakes are so prominent and lethal in a certain area that they're often grouped together in the culture to highlight just how dangerous that they are. In the case of Russell's Viper, it's one of the 4 most dangerous snakes that you'll find in India. We'll be focusing on just the power of its bite and venom, as both are considerable. The pain of the bite alone is said to be quite extreme, and all the more reason that you need to never be bitten by it. Then, once the venom does take hold, it will course through your body and cause you all sorts of problems, which includes bleeding from various areas that you should never ever be bleeding from. The pain alone can last for weeks if it's not treated, and you can even suffer kidney failure if you don't get the antivenom for it. Death is not guaranteed to happen quickly. It can occur 2 weeks after the bite is received. Now you should see why people of India fear this snake so much. The coastal taipan. You honestly just have to wonder why anyone would ever want to go to Australia when they have most of the deadliest snakes around and in great numbers, along with literally so many more things that could just kill you on a dime.
Okay. Compliment. Wouldn't believe it.
This time around, I'm talking about the coastal taipan. It's the second longest venomous snake on the continent. Just as big of a problem, this species is the 3rd most venomous land snake in the world after the inland taipan and eastern brown snake. It's said that the Australians actually fear this snake more than any other, and the people of Papua New Guinea know to fear it as well, because it's also in that country. There is an antivenom for the snake, which is good, because there have been plenty of confirmed victims of the snake, and you don't want to be the next one on the kill list. And given that it doesn't mind being in populated areas, the possibility is there that you may end up running into one. The Eastern brown snake. Rankings are an easy way to determine what the most deadly thing in the world is, especially when it comes to something like venom. That being said, the number 2 contender on that list is also something that you should fear. The Eastern brown snake, for example, is the second most venomous snake in the world today, only being outranked by the inland Taipan that I talked about from before. That also means that its venom is still incredibly deadly, and you don't want it anywhere near your system. If you don't take my word for it, well, go and ask the Australians. In Australia, the Eastern brown snake is the one that will kill more people than any other snake out there. And again, they have the inland Taipan. So, that other serpent has better venom, but the Eastern brown snake is much more likely to kill you due to how often that it attacks human beings. Part of the reason for that is that this snake is more than happy living near populated areas, including some of the most populated places down under, like with Melbourne and Sydney. So if you do happen to visit any of those places in Australia, you should never stop being on watch. Mojave Rattlesnake. When you hear the name rattlesnake, you no doubt understand exactly what I'm talking about, even if you don't know the exact version of the snake that I'm discussing. They are the legendary and infamous snake that is popular in the American Western films and shows due to the literal rattle that they formed on their tail. When you hear that rattle, that's the only warning that you're going to get before it potentially bites you and takes you down for the count. The irony with the Mojave Rattlesnake is that there's plenty of debate about how deadly and dangerous the venom that this snake produces is. There was a time when it was hailed as the most dangerous American snake, but nowadays, it's just another very dangerous snake in a plethora of many others.
These venomous beasts are no joke. If you're into wild facts and deadly creatures, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.